Okay, we're back for part 2, and before I get started on finishing up the ornament from the last video, I want to address a question that I got because it's a good question, and it's one that if you make a lot of paper tubes you're going to run across. So I thought I would talk a little bit about it. When I talked about making the paper tubes, you remember I said that you almost always end up with one end just slightly larger than the other. It's just the nature of the beast. It happens. When you look at the tubes, you really can't tell. If you look at enough of them, you kind of can. But you know, to the naked, untrained eye, they look about the same. They look close anyway. But then when you start flattening them out and working with them, you can see one end is definitely just slightly larger than the other. Occasionally, one end gets a little larger than you want it to. If you look at these tubes, there are two of them that are freakishly misshapen. You know, you can, if you look at them, if you study them really hard, you can tell this one and this one are not quite right. These all, you know, one end may be a little bit smaller than the other, but you can hardly tell, right? These two, there's a dramatic difference. Okay, this happens. Sometimes it just accidentally happens and, you know, you just toss that tube out or whatever. But there are some steps you can take to prevent it. If this is happening a lot in your tubes and irritating you, let me give you a couple of tips to try. If this is not happening a lot, then don't worry about it, because, you know, whatever you're doing is working. Keep doing it. This is for those of you who are having a frequent problem with one end of your tube being significantly larger than the other, because that's too big of a difference right there. Okay, if you're using a metal skewer or a metal knitting needle, then this is probably not the issue for you. But if you're using a wooden one, you do want to make sure that it is completely smooth. And I do have to go back and occasionally sand mine a little bit because, you know, stuff happens. Plus glue gets stuck to it. So I sand off the glue, make sure it's smooth, and then, you know, I get my favorite Daddy Van's all natural beeswax furniture polish. I just don't know why Daddy Van has not sent me a truckload of this stuff, because I'm pretty sure that I've sold more of it for them than Amazon has. I love this stuff. I use it on everything. Okay. I wax my wooden dowel skewer thing with some Daddy Vans after I've sanded it, just to make sure that it's nice and smooth and the paper slips off easily. So you do want the paper to be able to slip off easily, because here's what happens if it gets stuck. Okay, you start making your little tube, right? You get down here, you make a royal mess with the glue. Where's the paper towel? Okay, you see the direction that you coiled was this way to the right. It's really easy to remove the skewer by turning it the opposite way and pulling it out. But what you risk is inside there, especially if your skewer's got some glue on it and it's rough, it will grab hold of some of that paper inside and it will start to undo it. And you get that. Sorry. Okay, I have to go get that or it'll go off again. Hang on. Okay, did that make sense? Let's do that again. I'm not sure if I'm making sense to anyone but me. Roll it up. Hold it tight. Glue it. Now you see, back up. We're rolling this away from me, right? Going that way. rolling it away. Now, if I go to pull the stick out and I turn it in the direction toward me, I risk this happening. I mean, ideally you want to pull the stick straight out. If you have to twist it in the direction that you were rolling, which is that way. Just give it a twist till it loosens, and it's going to kind of tighten up in there. You know, you have to kind of wiggle it, but don't be rolling it back this way or you're going to get a flared end. Just wiggle it enough to pull it out. That one's still kind of flared a little because I messed around in there. Okay, let me show you one other tip to keep it from flaring. Okay, so pull straight out if you can. Don't unwind what you've wound or you're going to get the weird, you know, flared ends. Also, what you can do is adjust the angle of your skewer. You remember I told you this is not ideal. You want your skewer to be more at this angle. If it's too far at this angle, then you usually end up with a flare problem. I don't know why. I don't know why that matters, but for some reason the layers have a hard time holding on to each other. So if you're having a big problem with this flaring and it's not because you're unwinding your tube when you're trying to pull the stick out, then it may be that you need to adjust the angle of your skewer a little bit and come back this way a little bit. For some reason that tends to make it hold on a little bit better. And then pull your stick straight out. If you have to wiggle it in the direction that you rolled. And there you go. So, yeah, don't freak out about this. This happens, this little flaring thing. But those are just a couple of tips to help you to avoid this. I probably get at least one of these in about every 50 tubes, just because I'm not paying attention or my stick gets dirty or whatever. So, yeah, don't worry about it. It's fixable. Now, on to our project. Last night when I left off, I was going to bake the varnish onto my parts and pieces, which I did, just so they would have a protective coating on them. And then I was going to make this into an ornament like that, right? And I already started it. And it's working, yay! I took a long string of baker's twine, put a knot at the end, and then I put a little bit of glue over it just to hold it good. And then just started stringing these through. And it's doing just fine. I'm using a bookbinder's needle or tapestry needle. Let's go in the next one. Remember, I poked these holes with a long needle, and then I used a Dremel to drill through these. So it doesn't matter how you do it, just get the holes in there somehow. I have 70s music playing in the background. Can you hear it? Is it distracting? If it is, tell me and I won't do that again, but I just wanted some background noise today for some reason. Usually I don't. I'm making my ornaments kind of big because it's mid-November. And I do not anticipate that I will have a tree full of lovely paper ornaments this year. I'm probably going to have a really sad scattering of ornaments. But that's okay. It will grow in time. I will take some pictures of what I have so far, though, so you can see. But I'm warning you, it's not much. And I will adjust those after I tie it off. And that's going to be fun. I may do more like that. Okay, tying it off. Yeah, here I just kind of, oh, what do I do? I don't know. I need a loop, so I am going to make a knot right there. Okay, I'll go around it again a couple of times. Make sure that it's secure, and I will probably put a little dab of glue right there, just to make sure that it holds. Put a little glue on it. And let that dry good before I hang it. But there is our little ornament thing. Okay? Alright, now, last night I baked, or I put varnish on these and then heated them. So these are ready for strings and to be hung. Oh. They're nice and firm. That dang Helmar. Dadgummit. I don't know what made me think that would be a good glue to use. Yes, I do know what made me think it would. It dries fast. And that's what I wanted. But I really should have used hot glue. We can clearly see. I do want the ornaments to be sturdy. Okay. Yeah, if they can't survive me, you know, messing around with them, then they need to be redone. And I just glued it to the thing there. Alright, let that dry. So these are ready to go. These. I think this is one of the ones. I think I had put hot glue on one of these. Two of them. Try this one. Okay, remember these? And I had these little, I think we all decided that these were Madonna boobs, or you know, from the 80s, whatever. And I was going to put these in here, and I've lost track of which ones, because some of them fit just perfectly. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, those fit perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and put hot glue, just a couple little drops in there. Glue those in. Ouch. Okay. Okay, it's one of those days. Oh, come on. The glue is going to set up before it gets poked in all the way. That's irritating. Okay, you'll want to not do what I just did. In fact, you know what? Just take today as a lesson in what not to do when making paper ornaments for your Christmas tree. Because, you know, I always say a lesson in what not to do is still a good lesson to learn, right? I'm going to throw this in the microwave because, seriously, I can't get it apart. Alright. I'll let that heat up a little bit and then maybe I can pull that out. If I can't, I have backup ornaments. Because Lord knows I need to be saved from myself sometimes. That did it. It did. Yikes, that's hot. Okay, should I try to shove it in correctly? No, because it's really kind of too hot for me to hold on to. So I'm going to let those cool, and then we will revisit the gluing process. And in the meantime, I'll just do another one. Make sure these fit. See that one? Not so much. That one either. I'm sure I don't have 3 for this one. Sometimes there's a slight variation in size. Okay, well, whatever. Let's see. Let's try this again. And I'm using tiny little dots of glue kind of on the top lip here so that this can grab some of the glue as it squishes in. There we go, that worked. Ouch. That was the one that already has glue on it. I really probably shouldn't try to cram it back in there, but that's going to be much smaller now because it's got glue already on it. Do I need to sand that off? What do I need to do? I'll figure it out. Just give me a minute. I'm going to use these because these have already been varnished and ready to go. That one's going to have to fit. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Since it is a tight fit, I'm not really worried about it going anywhere. And there's already glue in there. I'll put it in the microwave for just a few more seconds to melt the glue a little bit, and then push that down. Okay, yes, the microwave is your friend. It is your crafty friend. And it doesn't take long. It's like 5 seconds and that glue starts to melt. Which paper gets hot too. Oh, which one was it? It's this one. Ah, perfect. Look, pushed right down in there. Okay, now I need to let that cool. And I've got a tree topper planned, sort of. And it's this. This was a toilet paper tube that I wrapped some paper tubes around. Then on both ends, I just, kept wrapping and wrapping and wrapping and wrapping, and then flared this out, kind of that little thing. And I have glued it so it'll hold its shape. And what I'm thinking, this would be just right for to go into a top branch on the tree. And then here I could put a styrofoam ball maybe, or I did make a couple more of these last night because I really like the way those look. And that one's got a flat spot, so maybe that's a good one for right there. I could do that. Then I don't know where to go from here. Like I could put these all the way around. But you know what I think would look cool is to have a big one on top. Well, that's kind of cool. Kind of bent like that. See, these, you have to be kind of careful because if you pull this out, let me show you, like this, you're kind of screwed. It is almost impossible to wind that back up and get it back in there. So you want to make sure that your little spirals stay together and that you don't separate them too much. You can kind of glue them a little bit as you go to help prevent that, but then you don't get this nice separation because you get areas that are stuck together. Oh! That's kind of funny. Okay. No, it looks like a clown. I don't want an evil clown for my Christmas tree topper. Okay, but maybe if I put these all the way around, like I was thinking, like that. What do we think? That doesn't necessarily have to be bent. It can be straight. Gosh, it's just so hard to tell. That's just the one thing about this. It's hard to tell what it's going to look like without actually doing it. Okay, I might just give that a try, because if it doesn't work, you know, I stick it in the microwave, I pull everything off, right? Okay. I'm going to work on that a little bit. What I'm going to do is get this pulled apart and shaped just like I want it, which I tend to be a little, you know, retentive about that, so I won't make you watch. And then I'm going to varnish it in place. And then I think I'm going to have to make some more of these, or I don't know, I've got quite a few made up. I just need to push them out and give them, you know, make them boobs. Let me get going on this a little bit more and see if I get anywhere near a finishing point with it. And if I do, I will show you at the end, and I'll also show you my tree with the few ornaments I have on it. Oh, I need to finish this. What am I doing? Yeah, these, okay, those will work. I wanted to put them here and here so that it's kind of like that. But this time I'm going to be smart. I'm going to put the loop on before I glue those down. But then there's those gaps. I wonder if I can put like these little things. I could do that. Cover those gaps. Okay, just start gluing. Let's just start gluing and see. Okay, now I'm going to put the loop in this one. Get some of this. Oh, I see it. I see it. Here. That's what I wanted. These are my kitchen scissors. They were handy, so that's what I used. I just had a thought. If that music comes across on the video, that's going to cause me some copyright issues. I might have to separate my audio track and do a voiceover. I'll just have to see when I start editing. Oh, that's kind of fun. There we go. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this. I'm gonna have to be able to look at it without laughing at some point, I think. Yeah, I'll see what I can come up with. But okay, for now, let's wrap this up. I will show pictures at the end of what we've done and whatever else I can come up with this afternoon. But for now, that's all I got. The end.